My name's Sharon. I've been a member here at P360 for I think about 7.5 years. I joined not long after you guys opened when we did the first ever 8-week challenge. So my son was probably 10, 11 months old, wanted to get back into doing something. I'd historically been a team sport person. My husband heavily encouraged me to come down and try it here, despite not ever being a gym person, given you're not by yourself, you're with people, so that made it a whole lot easier for me to get back into fitness, doing something for myself, yeah. 2 weeks ago now, I think, I competed in my first ever Masters National Weightlifting competition, and I came first in my weight class. So that's pretty massive. I think it's taken a good solid week for me to just accept that I did it and to be proud of it. So yeah. In terms of me getting to becoming a weightlifter, when I walked in the door 7 years ago here, I'd never even touched a barbell in my life. So it was not a forethought. I never even dreamt that I'd even be learning something like that. It just, over the 7 years, just enjoyed developing a really strong base, like for strength, conditioning, mobility. And then it just came with natural progression of, yeah, this is on offer. What else can I do? What else can I learn? What can I challenge myself with? And just, I don't really settle too well. Like I like to be learning new things. And so I think it was just a natural progression for me is, okay, I've done all this and I feel like I've got a really, really strong base now. Olympic weightlifting's on offer here to learn. I'm going to go and learn it. So
it's all right.
Yeah, it's 7 years, and you know, sometimes members will say, "Oh my gosh, your squat's so awesome. This is like you're so like you just lift that like with such confidence." But it's, and I try to break it down and explain. It's taken 7 years to build this, having never touched a barbell in my life. So yeah, that it just gave me the confidence that my body can do much more than I thought it could, and that's where it's come from. Yeah, like I was saying before about having that strong confidence that my body can do some pretty cool things, even in my 40s now. The Olympic weightlifting, yeah, you have to book events and you've got to have a certain lead up to that in terms of program with peak weeks and taper weeks and stuff like that. But it's just other things as well, like I've done Spartans outside of the gym and never really even thought, can I actually do this? I just had the confidence that my foundation for the last 7 years has built me up to be able to handle that. Like when we do the resilience challenges here, by no means am I a runner, and we run several Ks, but I have the confidence that my foundation and the training, I can just do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't stress too much about putting in the training for a certain event. With things like Spartan and that, it's, yeah, I want to do it. That'll be fun. Let's get a team together, go and do it, and just know that my training will support that already. I think with my children, I've had a super positive impact on them. They enjoy a number of sports, and we encourage them to try everything because you're not going to settle when you're a kid on what sport you want to do. They come here, they're a part of the junior and senior athletes, they love it. And I think it's just so different to their sports, and it's just building that other type of confidence in their bodies and being movement aware and just, yeah, general movement in their day, I think is the main point.
So what you're saying is?
Yeah, I love watching them in here. I love watching them do stuff. I know that they watch me, and that's pretty cool as well. Getting the phone call from my daughter after I won the Masters Championship, that was pretty massive for me, having her scream down the phone at me, "Mama, you've just won a national title!" Yeah, so to say it hasn't had an impact, it's laughable, yeah. I think there's an old saying that it says, you know, discipline kicked in when motivation isn't there. And it's definitely taken a number of years that I had to find the motivation to want to be here and to want to do it. And then I think habit and discipline just took over after a number of years. And yeah, there's days now I don't feel like training. Just get my butt in the door. It all takes care of itself just from habit and from discipline and the people around me are always there to kind of lift you. No, there's definitely days I'm sitting on my bed going, oh, okay. And you know what? Some days they're the best training afternoon I've ever had in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, so you can't tell.
So you just turn up?
Just turn up. Turn up. Even if you're not pushing the numbers that are in the program or that you had in your mind, you're still doing something. It all counts. Just doing things now that I never thought possible for a woman in her mid-40s. Like, I don't have so many personal limitations on myself anymore. I'm very much willing to try just about anything and give it a go, be that in a physical sense or like in my work environment or something like that, because you know it's tough, you know you're going to get through it, and how you get through it is kind of how much effort you put into it. Do you know what I mean? So I tend not to plan too far into the future. Looking for the rest of the year is kind of where I'm at the moment. So we've got P360 Games coming up. Always down for that. It's always a good time. So I'm going to throw myself into that. And then, yeah, in terms of weightlifting, just getting better comp totals every time, trying to beat my previous comp total, get a better one, kind of climb the grades and the ladders in there. I think hopefully open up a few more things in the weightlifting community for me as well. So I would say to someone who's on the fence or unsure or just a bit scared, break it down into something smaller to start with. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Visit a few places, find a place that you walk in and that you're comfortable with. And as I said before, sometimes it just takes turning up. And then once you're there, the scariness kind of goes away a little bit, and you can just break it down into smaller goals, going, okay, great, I got one session in, that was wonderful, let's try and make sure I get 2 more in this week, and then that's my goals for the week and we're done. And then we'll look at next week again. Right? I think sometimes it's just getting that body confidence back about yourself, moving, learning your body all over again for some people who haven't done it for a really long time and are getting back into it post-baby or just injury-wise or just, life-wise had a little bit of a break. I think it's just, get some confidence back in your body just through daily movement to start with, and then start setting, some big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yeah.
Particularly on those times that when you've been doing it for a little while and you plateau and you're like, I'm not making any progress, I'm not doing anything, I'm not hitting the numbers I wanted to, and it sucks. In the moment it really sucks, but when you look back at your long-term progression and you look back where I'm coming from, I do that often. I look back at my numbers on Train Heroic and stuff like that and see where I've come from for where I am now, and it's time and it's consistency and it's effort and just doing the little things and just turning up even on the epically shit days of your life and just doing something. Yeah. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't challenging at times, especially in the beginning when I spoke to Jono and I said, well, this is what I want to do. I want to, I love strength and conditioning and I love doing all of that. I'm really interested in doing this weightlifting thing. I really want to give it a good crack for 12 months, but it's going to take effort. And we sat the children down with us as well, and I spoke to them and I said, with Dad being away for so long during the year, it's going to take effort from everybody for me to be able to achieve this, and it's something I really, really want. So I want you guys to be okay with it, and I want you to be on board with it, and I want you guys to support me. And so I asked for their help, and they said, yep, Mum, cool, we'll do it.
That's a nugget.
That's a nugget. So I'd be lying if I said some weeks weren't hard. And my weightlifting coach, Ali, can tell the days I've walked in and it's been a mission to get there. Some nights when I'm dragging the kids with me and I've got dinner pre-packed and I've had to put in 3 hours of work just to be able to get to training kind of thing. But yeah, he's very supportive and understanding of that as well, is that sometimes I rock up to training. I don't want to talk, I just want to train. But yeah, it's definitely taken for us to sit down and for me to explain where I'm coming from, and this is something that's really important to me and I need their help and I need their support. And they were all for it, and then to get that call from Ava afterwards at the end of Nationals, made it worth it. 7 years of training here in a strength and conditioning environment. Built a huge foundation for me in strength, conditioning, mobility. for me to then go into, I found something that I really enjoy and I really want to pursue it, but yeah, it's something that I needed outside of the walls of this gym in specific coaching. So I have Ali, so I go to him for a specific Olympic weightlifting coach, whereas my foundations and my strength and all my accessory work is still done here, but I train with him for the technical side of Olympic weightlifting and the science behind all the programming and stuff like that. And I know there's a bunch of people who have outside of this gym interests. There's soccer players, there's triathletes, there's runners, there's all sorts of them. So yeah, it's pretty cool to know that we have the space here and the coaches to support what we want to do outside of the gym.
Yeah.
I had Jacob and I had Ali as well that both saw something in me and more to the point listened to what I wanted as well as me as an individual going, well, I want to get better at this. I want to work on this lift. I want to try and strengthen my shoulders a little bit better, and just having those coaches that listen and that kind of nurture that, do you know what I mean? And then, it was when, not too long after Ali started that, I think I put the post up on the Instagram thing, and he said to me in the middle of a class saying, oh, Shazzy, get a belt. And I was like, I don't use a belt. Do I need a belt? Will I ever use a belt? And he just looked at me and just said, get a belt. I'll make you a weightlifter. So yeah, he saw that I enjoyed the movements. He saw that I had a good foundation, and we just built it from there. So yeah, it just gave me so much confidence when I decided I wanted to pursue weightlifting as a very specialised thing to do, that I had the training behind me. There was no issue. It was just such a smooth transition for me. Like, yeah.